Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the second day of the Payday 2 Bomb Heist webpage. As I've already read, no pain, no gain. It is a proverb most fitting to describe Dragan, or Dragan as I believe the Butcher calls him, the Croatian entrepreneur who the Butcher sent to keep the Payday gang in check as part of a deal with Bane to secure the lucrative bomb heist. Now we actually have a little bit from the Butcher herself telling us exactly what's going on here.
I'm sending you an associate of mine. Call him Dragan. He's cruel, brutal, and utterly ruthless. I suspect he will bring a bit of Balkan steel to your soft American glove.
Okay, so, what did we find out? Well, not an awful lot that we don't find out later on in the page, but a little bit of additional steel to our soft American glove. Well, he really does do that. We are looking at a melee specialist. I could not be more excited for that. So, Dragan himself, as you can see here, sitting with the new weapon that comes with him and his new mask. Can I just say that this mask is one that I really approve of. I think it looks brilliant. I think Clover's lost a little bit of the Payday vibe. This one definitely has it back, but it's also got that nice backstory and Croatian roots signified on it, so I'm a huge fan. Anyway, Dragan, life had been good for this corrupt Interpol agent. Everyone was on the take. He got to crack skulls, the money rolled in, and he lived like a king. On both sides of the law, he used his contacts to further his own agenda, while playing them against each other. His reward for this ultimate act of backstabbing? To act as her confidant on a mission to the US. He would be given a fresh identity, a place with the infamous Payday gang, as part of the deal with Bane. A new life in America, the land of golden criminal opportunities. Perhaps there things would be different. I don't know what he wants to be different, seeing as how apparently his life was brilliant. Anyway, here are the items we get in this $5 DLC. And it changes things. Let me get that straight. So, with a background like the one Dragan has, there is no surprise he aspires to greatness in the criminal underworld. His mask represents a lot of his own characteristics, with the clear resemblance to some of the original crew's masks that tells of his ability to infiltrate and blend in, while still having some features that tells of his unending ruthlessness. So that sort of goes back to what I was suggesting. Payday has definitely moved back into the roots with this mask. The Croatian checker on the forehead serves as a reminder for both himself and his enemies to be aware that he is not your common Western street thug. And here is the Lion's Roar. It does look an awful lot like the rifle we got in the Clover DLC, but it's certainly different in its stats. It seems quite powerful. It's another all-around quite versatile rifle, I imagine. I can't wait to get my hands on it. But the Lion's Roar is a 30.1 inch long with a 500mm or 20-inch barrel. The whole rifle body is a monoblock construction made from high-impact polymer. When looked at from the front, it looks something like a bugle. May this weapon hearken your glorious arrival, and may it help you perform the glorious melodies of Payday. Bit of a cringeworthy description on that one, actually. Anyway, the cleaver knife, the melee weapon, this is where things start to heat up. The cleaver is a kind of knife primarily used for cutting through meat and bone, but rather than using precise cuts, the cleaver delivers powerful hammer-like blows that rend even the most durable flesh. How could we not have a meat cleaver from the Butcher? Cleavers have a long history of butchering human beings as well as livestock, as the Chinese triad considered the cleaver something of a trademark weapon. Easily concealable, inexpensive, and a marked effect on both the target's psyche and body. In short, you can go full cow sacrifice in Apocalypse Now mode. Again, these stats, nothing that stands out too much, but definitely an all-around strong-looking melee weapon. And here we have the Perk Deck. Oh my god, the Perk Deck. It is the Infiltrator Perk Deck. Now, some of you may be aware of a couple of the melee ideas that I have sort of had circulating way back when I made the video. Well, these ideas have been picked up in one way or another in true overkill style. A little bit of finesse that I couldn't offer. It's great to see them listening to the community and buffing melee weapons in the Infiltrator Perk Deck. So, the Infiltrator is an agent hired by a government or large criminal organization to obtain information about its enemies, or by a corporation to obtain industrial secrets from its competitors. The Infiltrator is a close combat specialist who knows how to use the environment in order to get the upper hand. Now, this time we get to actually hear what this Perk Deck entails, which is good, if you ask me. We didn't get the same sort of information about Clover's. Clover's was like a sort of pseudo-stealth. It certainly helped for stealth. It was the best Perk Deck purely for stealth builds. However, Infiltrator is something entirely new. it's definitely going to make this a more worthwhile purchase for those of you like me who adore melee weapons. So I'm only going to go through the skills that are different. Of course, you've still got things like blending in, helmet popping, walk-in closet that will always exist. But we have basic close combat. When you're close to an enemy, you receive 4% less damage from enemies. So that's enemies all over the map, even snipers hitting you across the map. I don't know how close you have to be. We hopefully will find out some form of radius in the actual update. Then we have Overdog. Now, this one might ring a couple of bells. When you're surrounded by 3 enemies or more, you receive an additional 8% less damage from enemies. That sounds like a skill that already, of course, exists in the Enforcer tree, but this bit is where it really heats up. Each successful melee hit grants an additional 10% melee damage boost for 6 seconds and can stack up to 4 times. That's a 40% melee boost as long as you keep hitting. Now, whether this is drawn off an idea that I originally came up with or whether it's original overkill brilliance, I'm really happy to see it there. It seems like the most fast-paced and exciting way to make melee just that little bit more viable, and we get that again in expert close combat. This time, when you're surrounded by 3 enemies or more, you're only going to receive 4% less damage. However, each successful melee hit will again have the same effect, 10% damage bonus for 6 seconds and stacking up to 4 times. And these two appear to stack next to each other. Really good to see. That means you can potentially get 80% additional damage on your weapon. And melee is actually going to kill men now. What else have we got? We've got advanced close combat. When you're close to an enemy, you receive an additional 4% less damage. It looks like you'd be getting a fair amount of resistance. What it's going to be, 8 plus 4, 12. 20% additional resistance, potentially for your tankier builds as well. Also very suited to this melee setup. Then we have Life Drain. Strike an enemy with your melee weapon, regenerates 10% of your health. This cannot occur more than once every 15 seconds. I don't know whether 15 seconds is slightly too limiting, but oh my god, it's lifesteal. That's exactly what melee weapons need to make them more feasible as a consistent up-close solution. I love to see it. These are all fantastic ideas being incorporated in this perk deck. I can't stress it enough. I would buy 50 of these DLCs, honestly. I can't believe they've done such a great job in listening to consumer feedback with this one. It really is sorting some of the weaknesses and problems within the game. It's fantastic balancing. Seems like a bit of a shame it's a paid update, but I'm excited for it because it definitely solves a problem that I have had with enjoying my combat. Anyway, what we have here is, of course, the heist itself. We have a picture of Dragan, who looks great, by the way. He looks almost nicer than a lot of the other characters, just visually in the menu screen. Then we have him here with the mask on. He's certainly an imposing guy. You can again see the stubble around the side. He's got this pretty classy looking light beige suit. He's again carrying his weapon, and we see one of the bomb heists. This is of course the forest, which is the one I'm again more excited for. This is another one, I believe, on the forest. We see the trains. He's standing by Dallas. You can see the overall comparison to their suits. Another interesting thing, yeah, that must be the lightweight ballistic vest he's running there. Another one with Dallas. This seems more likely to be part of the dockyard map, but we see a taser down there as well. And finally, back onto the forest. Doesn't the forest look amazing, by the way? I'm really impressed so far by the look of this map. And this is a back view of Dragan. And we can, of course, see his hair. Very nice hair. Clearly has a good quality shampoo. But yeah, Dragan, oh my god. I'm fanboying up here because melee tree is just something I have wanted for a really long time. Anyway, we're going to get the DLCs tomorrow. We don't know too much about the heist itself. That is all still to be revealed. Stay tuned on this channel. There will, of course, be tutorials, reviews, as quick as possible, getting it out to you so you know whether this purchase is worth it. But so far, I'm certainly leaning towards giving Dragan my $5. He's definitely earned it thus far. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next one.